Am I good to go? Alright, cool. So, first off, I wasn't expecting this. This happened just now. This is a very rare glitch. I don't know exactly why it happens, but sometimes, when you're on the difficulty selection screen, the difficulty options will be invisible. It happens sometimes, so it's very rare. So it's very cool I got to show it off right now. Never happened in a marathon to me before. Just a funny thing that happened. But yeah, I will be ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Aria of Sorrow, the Castlevania game for the Game Boy Advance. One of the most popular games in the series. Probably doesn't need much of an introduction. But this category I'm doing is pretty unique. The Glitchless hard mode. So, Glitchless is, basically what it sounds like. Glitchless, no, you can't do any of the major out-of-bounds zips that are in this game. And you can't, go through walls, anything like that. All that good stuff. You can't wrong warp. You can't pull up the debug menu. Any of that good stuff. There's a few things that are sketchy when it comes to what is and isn't a glitch. So if you want to think of this as no major glitches, you know, go on ahead. But yeah, this is glitchless. And then the other factor that makes this run unique is hard mode. So hard mode in this game, basically what it does is it increases the damage enemies do to you, and it also increases the damage you take from enemies. I just said the same thing twice, wow. It increases the damage enemies do to you, and it decreases the damage you do to enemies. That's what I meant to say, gosh. So basically, I'm not going to be able to kill a lot of bosses in this game, with this route. I'm not going to be able to kill a lot of bosses with just weapons I find along the way. I'm going to have to get pretty creative with how I kill bosses. Shrieking Skull, I mostly got him down with spears, and then killed him with just a knife. And the spears did most of the work there. Gosh, man. The next boss is going to be Manticore, and it's a bit of a special case because, like, all I have right now is Short Sword. In normal Aria of Sorrow runs in normal mode, you would manipulate Creaking Skull by doing an RNG manipulation, which is allowed in Glitchless, but there's no known setup to do it on hard mode. So, we don't have Creaking Skull, so that's a problem. So, I have my Short Sword, but the Short Sword is definitely not enough. It will do 3 damage. Not a lot of damage. So I need to come up with another solution for that. So to talk about movement in this game, actually I'm gonna... Whatever. So the main movement tech in this game is backdash jumping and blade dancing. Backdash jumping is just when I turn around, backdash, and jump out of it. The end of a backdash is really laggy, so jumping cancels that. There's another method, which is what I did right there, called blade dancing, where I slash the sword while I dash. And that basically means I can skip having to turn around, like I would when I do a normal backdash jump. It's situational though. Sometimes you want to backdash jump. Blade dancing is faster though, for long stretches. So you're gonna see me doing that a good bit. Alright, so here I'm gonna go up here. This is an optional area. I do a cute little jump here to get the rapier. And this is what I'm gonna be using against Manticore. If I use Short Sword, like I said, I would have been doing 3 damage. I'm also gonna save, because Manticore kills me in 2 hits? 3 hits? Not many hits to spare. especially because the fastest strat for this room is taking a damage boost. And that's 70 health right there. Alright, so Manticore. So with the rapier, I'm doing a hot 11 damage. Ooh, yeah. And now I'm already in kill range, which is actually really scary. I got kind of careless with getting hit. The thing I really don't want, other than dying, is getting hit by his tail. Well, right now his tail will kill me, but if it wasn't gonna kill me, it would inflict me with poison, which lowers all of my stats. So I would take more damage and deal less damage. I think I'd be dealing like 3 damage, or 4, if I had been poisoned. So it would be a really slow fight. Alright, so that's one boss now. This is scary now. I just took a ton of damage. So that's one boss down. The next boss coming up is going to be Great Armor. And similar to Manticore, Rapier just isn't going to cut it for Great Armor. I'm also going to pop a potion now, because I might die if I don't. So I need to go into this room and get the Bastard Sword. And here I'm actually going to suspend the game, and that's so I can skip walking back out. It'll take me right back to the entrance of the room where I came in. And that's actually slower movement-wise, but it means I can avoid taking damage from the enemies in that room. I did not want to take that hit. Ooh, okay, this is fine. Fleeman, please. Fleeman, okay. Alright. So, I'm trying to focus. Hard mode's really scary, especially when you make big mistakes and accidentally take a ton of damage. Actually, I'm gonna save. Down at me. I already equipped that. Boost through the Minotaur. Killing him would take forever. And Great Armor. Doing 9 damage with the Bastard Sword, so, you know. Still not a lot, but, if I were doing this with Rapier or Short Sword, it'd be more like 4 or 5. It adds up a lot. So, to talk about combat, in this game, you always want to jump whenever you slash, because whenever you land, your lag gets cancelled. Automatically cancelled. There are some weapons that have a heavy landing, where you will get a lag even when you land. And there is a way to cancel that landing too, but you have to do it manually, and that's really slow. So I'm not going to be using any of those type of weapons. Done. Alright. So, beating Great Armor did 2 things for me, really. It unlocked the shop, and it gave me double jump. I need double jump to progress in the game. There's just no way around that. And I need the shop to buy healing items. In case you couldn't tell, I die really fast in this mode compared to normal mode. So healing items are going to be really helpful. I went up there to that room, and this is one of my favorite parts of this route. I took the Kaiser Knuckle, and I'm never going to use the Kaiser Knuckle. The Kaiser Knuckle is a short-range weapon that does damage in like a fast burst pattern. I'm literally never going to use it. I got it so I could sell it at the shop, because it sells for a lot. It's actually going to get me everything I need, for this section at least, once I get to the shop. The other thing that was in that room was the melon, which is a bit of a meme, but it's also a full heal, which is very helpful. Something to talk about that I didn't mention earlier was there's an item you're supposed to pick up called Flying Armor, which lets you float down slowly, and one of the jumps I did earlier is you're intended to only be able to make it with Flying Armor. But I did do a very precise jump to skip Flying Armor. This is what I did. Alright, so now I'm gonna go to the shop. I did not know that guy would do 12. Whatever. Didn't matter. So a very useful thing that a lot of people don't know is if you talk to Mina, you get a full heal. So I'm gonna sell the Kaiser Knuckle sells for 15,000. I'm gonna buy 9 potions. 9 ups. Katana and War Fatigues. Katana is just a slightly better weapon. I'm gonna use it for like a couple of enemies. I did not mean to. And War Fatigues is a pretty good armor that raises my defense and attack. Why it's good. Ideally, I'm only going to be visiting the shop twice in this run. That was the first shop visit. The second one will be after the next boss fight. So this is where the run deviates from what people would consider a normal route, I guess. I skipped the Flying Armor item, but that's more of a minor thing. Now I'm just going in like a completely different direction than what you would expect. I'm actually going to go down here. So normally in this game, you need to pick up an item called Undine to stand on water. And standing on water will let you jump up to here. You just barely make it up anyway without Undine. So that lets you get to Floating Gardens much earlier than intended. Floating Garden, a bit of an auto-scroller. Too long. I guess I can talk about, this is where the run's gonna get, like, really scary. Like, actually really scary, because now I did a sequence break. So now I'm in hard mode. I only have 9 potions, which is enough for, like, 3 full heals. And I'm in this area very early, so I'm pretty underleveled. So, yeah, things are gonna kill me in only a few hits here. On top of that, the clock tower, which is where I'm going next, has spikes all over the place. So if I get hit by an enemy, there's a good chance it'll knock me into the spikes, and probably do enough damage to kill me. I'm actually gonna wait. There's a cutscene here. There were other cutscenes I skipped before, I didn't mention this. Because I'm playing this on a game that's been completed before, believe it or not, I've actually beaten the game before. I can skip cutscenes by pressing start. Clock tower movement is really cool. You can just, like, barely make it up to these cogs with a precise jump. That enemy right there, the Death Robe, is a hard mode only weapon. Or armor, rather, that I can't get. Not that. I can't fit in that hole. Be really nice if you could get it. Alright, so coming up is the hardest boss in this run, Death. So, makes Death really hard in Glitchless hard mode. So you're underleveled, and you sequence broke here, and it's hard mode, and it's really bad, and I'm gonna need to focus. Something to talk about is you can get comboed in this fight, and the way getting comboed works in this game is your invincibility, like that, Your invincibility frames for projectiles and for, like, touching enemies is actually different. So there's no iframes in between. So when I get knocked off of a sickle that's flying around, I can get tossed right into Dust Scythe, and it won't count my invincibility frames. Normally, in normal mode runs, you would have Shrieking Skull, which gives you a bit of a shield against the sickles, but you don't have that in this category. You have to dodge them, or kill them with your sword. Alright, so Phase 2 is actually a lot more straightforward. He has 3 attacks he can do. He can do a Scythe Throw, or Scythe Throw 2, or Charging. You do not want to see charges. Charges are really slow. So far he's only done Scythe Throw. This is the alternate Scythe Throw, which is a little worse. Also, I'm not sure if that would kill me, but I'm gonna heal just in case. Wow. He has not done any charges yet. I had to jinx it. The charging's really slow because you can't hit him during it. Wow, only 1 charge. That's really good luck. Alright, so for beating death, we get Skula. Another thing that happens when you beat death is shop gets new items, which a lot of people don't know, but now I can buy... The most important thing is I can buy high potions and high mind-ups from the shop. Which is a very nice side effect of beating death early. I can buy those from the shop now. Which I will do. Added. Okay. So the yellow Medusa heads, this is something a lot of people get confused about. The yellow Medusa heads will turn you to stone if you touch them. The blue ones just come in. So if I'm in a scenario where I have to get hit by a Medusa head, I'll try to get hit by a blue one instead of a yellow one. So whenever an enemy drops a soul like that, it's generally going to be a waste of time. There's a few exceptions where I can actually use them to my advantage, but most of them will just be a time waste. Then I'm going to warp back to Castle Corridors. I needed to use this warp in particular, because I need to warp back here later. I think it's the fastest warp to get to anyway, though. So, yeah. Alright, so... back to the shop, gonna talk to Mina to get that full heal. Come back to sell, and I can actually sell all my weapons now. It's one of my favorite parts of this category. Selling all the weapons off. I'm gonna restock on potions. By... I don't have a weapon right now. Which is pretty scary. Thankfully I'll get a replacement one fairly soon. Going into the underground reservoir. This is why I needed to beat death. You can only access the full area here once you can have Skula, which lets you go underwater. You don't have Skula, you just float in the water. And you get a nice tasty meat, which is pretty good healing. It's about the same as a high potion, maybe a little worse actually. Alright, and we're gonna take the little detour here to get the Rahab sword. Will be our weapon for the next boss. because the Mistletoe just wouldn't cut it. So, Underground Reservoir is probably one of the most scary areas. Not necessarily because the enemies do a ton of damage, but because the way you need to do this part is very specific. There's some damage boosts here that I... Ooh. Pop it. The really good thing about this category is that you get extra money because of Kaiser Knuckle. If you didn't have that, this category would be a lot harder. This is one of the hardest. I need to open the warp in the top left. Ooh. Okay. That jump is pretty scary, and there's randomly spawning Medusa heads while you do it, so it's a pretty tough segment of the run. That room kills many runs. Another high potion used before Arena. I damage boosted through all those Tritons, because killing them would be really slow. Alright. This is Arena Room 1. Arena Room 1 is really bad in this run, because we don't have Creaking Skull, which is like perfect for getting rid of these gargoyles. So you just have to wing it every time. Hope that you don't get destroyed. Right? I'll do a small heal there, just because I'm not sure how much. Exactly. You never know what can happen. With enemy combos being a thing, you can always just get comboed to death very quickly. The combo thing is like sort of a really bad... I doubt it's intentional. It's just the way they programmed invincibility frames is pretty silly. And makes things more frustrating than it should be sometimes. Alright, so Balor. Not much to say for first phase. He has his hand. Ooh, you do not want to get punched like that. Not only does it do a ton of damage, but it also sends you to the corner of the arena. It's really slow because you have to walk back. Yeah, I don't. There isn't a ton to talk about, and I have to focus. Ooh, I got a 0 cycle. There's a glitch where if you have Balor one hit away from going into phase 2. Oh, oops! I did a glitch. This run's over. But yeah, the 0 cycle is if he queues up his attack, and he's one hit away from entering the next phase, one of the hands will just stop moving. Oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally did that glitch. One's over. Alright, but for beating Balor, we get Giant Bat, which is one of the best souls in the game. It turns you into a bat, and in Glitchruns, that lets you do bat zipping, which is by far the most broken technique in this game. It lets you zip off of any wall in the game. For Glitchless, it's not that good, but it's still very powerful, because it allows us to go as high as we want, as long as we have enough mana. It's also slightly faster. So when I can afford to, I'm going to be using that. I can't do it a ton though because it drains MP really quickly. But there I used it to scroll the guy off screen so he wouldn't follow me. But now I'm going to open up, or go back to that clock tower warp I opened up before. And there's an entrance off to the left here. That's like a secret exit, I guess, from Clock Tower. Takes you to this part, which leads you back to Castle Corridors. Game's a Metroidvania style game, of course, if you haven't figured that out by now. And I really like the way the map is connected. There's like a lot of hidden shortcuts like that. So I went from Clock Tower, and now this shortcut up here, which you need Bat or Hippogriff to get, takes me to top floor. Alright, that's all of top floor for now. Where I really want to go is inner corridors, and you might be thinking, like, if you know this game, you might be wondering why I'm here. Because there's nothing essential to do right now. I have Bat, which means I can basically just go to the end right now if I really wanted to. The problem with this route is there's no... Hold on. There's no way, there's no weapon. This goes back to the weapon problem from earlier. There's no weapon I have that will really kill the late game bosses in any sort of timely manner. I've tried and timed a lot of different weapons. The one that's fastest is still the Claim Solias. Which you need to do this big quest to get. To get the Claim Solias, you need to have the Curly and Undine souls. Undine you get at the top of this tower. It's what I skipped earlier, so I eventually do get it. Here I'm going to do a suspend, and the suspend will do two things for me. It'll take me back to the beginning of the room, and it resets the RNG to be a consistent value. Cool. So I did a precise-ish setup there on the Curly so that I slashed her twice, and I knew the RNG would be in the same spot. It always is. So she dropped her soul. Early soul drop is usually only normal. Usually a 1% chance. So having the RNG manipulation for it is really nice. So now I'm gonna go back to top floor. I have those two things. I can go get the claim now, but first I want to open up a warp here, and that's just gonna cut out some. Cute little boost here. The final guard does a lot of damage, so I want to make sure I get hit by the gargoyle there, and not the final guard himself. Warp back to underground. This is why I opened the warp earlier, doing the tricky jump in underground reservoir I talked about. Here I'm gonna flip early Undine, and then I'm gonna heal, and I like that menu. That's probably my favorite menu in the run. And between those two, I can get past the waterfall and get to the forbidden area. So the forbidden area has the Claim Solias, which is the main reason I'm coming here. There is a nice side effect of going here, though. There's a flame demon here. So in a bit, I'm going to fight the boss of Graham. And if you kill Graham while having any souls other than Flame Demon, Succubus, and Giant Bat equipped, you get the neutral ending, the like mediocre ending. And for speedruns, you need to get the best ending, because that's what qualifies as beating the game to us. Beating the true final boss. So I need Flame Demon, I need Succubus, and I need Giant Bat. Giant Bat I just got. It's not really a problem. Also, here's Claim Elias. But Flame Demon and Succubus are not just given to you. They're random drops. Thankfully, this game has RNG manipulation for real-time runs, so it isn't really too big of a deal. I'm gonna go in here, suspend the game. That'll put me at a consistent RNG value, and then do a cute setup, and get his soul drop. That's Flame Demon. And now I just need to backtrack. Not a ton to talk about here. I guess something I can mention is this category, Glitchless Hard Mode, is pretty new. I did the first run of it ever about a year ago. Maybe even less, maybe like 9 months ago. It was summer of last year. My first run of it was, I don't even remember, 48 minutes? Something like that. That was after I had a really good established time in Glitchless though. So, you know. Glitchless normal mode is, I guess, my favorite category in this game. It's the one I want to optimize the most. I'm currently trying for a 33-minute time in that category. Ooh, Medusa Head Soul. That actually would have saved time earlier, but now it's just useless. Yeah, I'm currently trying for the 33 in Glitchless normal mode. But this isn't normal mode, this is hard mode. I'm gonna go for the unmanipulated drop. Wait, I need to... Okay, so, because I'm at level, because this is hard mode, I actually forgot about this when I was explaining stuff. Because this is hard mode, I kill Succubus in 6 hits. Which, there's no known 6-hit manipulation for Succubus. So for now, I'm just gonna have to deal with the RNG manip. Or the RNG. Not manip. This is a 9% drop. So, it shouldn't take that long. There's no way it could take that long. Worth noting that if I had gotten a Strength Soul drop, I could do the RNG manip because my strength would be high enough. There it is. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so now I have Flame Demon, Succubus, Giant Bat, and Claim, so I can go fight Graham. All of the pieces of the puzzle have come together. So this fight has a lot of RNG. You want him to do his 3 fireballs attack because you can just swap as his fireballs with the sword and destroy them. What happened there? You don't want to see the meatballs. You don't want to see the meatballs. Don't want to see the meatballs. Thankfully this phase is pattern-based, so it'll always be the same. He does have a lot of health, though. Something to talk about is Glitchless Hard Mode. This category is never really going to be, like, optimized to the level that a lot of other categories are at. Just because the boss fights take so long, it introduces a lot more RNG. Phases 2 and 3 of Graham, this is phase 3, are pattern-based, thankfully. He always does the same thing, so that's nice. But like, phase 1 of Graham, and then some death is a big one. There's just a lot of RNG in this category, and getting a really optimized time just isn't realistic because of that. So I beat Graham, did not get neutral ending. I can go to this room, get Black Panther, the #1 selling movie in America. Is it? I don't know, dude. Whatever. Anyway, what it is in this game is it allows you to move very quickly. Almost got the hole-in-one there. I'm also going to make a quick detour here to get Hippogriff, which is an item that lets you do a super jump like this. Now I can move really fast, both vertically and horizontally. And this is basically what I'm going to be doing. This is the movement for the rest of the run, which isn't bad, because fast. So something else, after I picked up Black Panther and Hippogriff, I picked up the Khalid Bulk. Oh, excuse me. Because, even though I have Claim, which is the best weapon in the game, the problem with the Claim for this upcoming fight is that it has the Holy element attached to it. And I have to fight Julius Belmont to get into the final area of the game. He's resistant to Holy, so Claim would not do a ton to him. Thankfully, Khalid Bulk has the Dark element attached to it, which Julius is weak to. So, yeah, use that for that fight. Claim having Holy, I didn't touch upon this, is actually really good. It's what makes it so good. One of the reasons it's so good. Because almost every enemy is weak to Holy. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. I question having a status element that almost everything is weak to. I'm not a game designer. Also, the Julius fight theme is a banger. I'd say that this is the second hardest fight in the game, behind Death. So, not going to be talking. There's also a lot of orange. Probably the most random fight in the game. That would have killed me. So, something about Julius phase 1 is after you hit him 4 times with your sword, he'll always stagger. So we should stagger there, yeah. So I can use that to get in some hits that would normally not be safe. Something else to talk about is the Succubus Soul. What it actually does is every time I hit something, I recover 5 health. That's going to be really useful in a lot of these late game bosses, to just slowly recover back health. Especially since they hit like a truck. Alright, and so going into phase 2. Phase 2 is a bit different. The thing about hitting him 4 times and then having him stagger is gone. And he can use his sub-weapons. So in theory, phase 2 can be really quick, because you can just keep hitting him while he's throwing his sub-weapons. But he can also just dash all over the place, which he isn't doing. He is almost killing me, though. You can see after he threw the holy water, he just like stood there, and I was able to hit him. And this is the dash move that you really don't want to see. Ooh. There we go. Not a terrible Julius, honestly. And now we're going into the Chaotic Realm. Skula, because there is water in here, and climb back on for the final boss. So I think Chaotic Realm is the highlight of this run, at least movement-wise. All the movement is just very fast. Ooh, I got slime jump. You can jump between the ceiling and the slime there, but it's pretty tight. Alright. Story time. One time I got caught between the wall and the bone pillar there, and I died on PB pace in this category. And it was really funny. Definitely. One time I also died to this Shadow Knight. It was really funny because he's literally the final enemy. So you never know what's gonna happen in Chaos. So I'll just save. Chaos 1, he locks away all your souls. The main thing that this means for me is I'm not going to be able to get the heal from Succubus. I do have a lot of items though, I didn't get hit too much throughout the run. It isn't really that big of a deal. Ooh. Maybe it will be. Alright, so I broke the yellow one, so I get my Succubus back. Alright, so that's phase 1. Phase 2. You have to destroy the 4 eyes on the wall. Well, you don't have to, but every eye you destroy lowers his defense. Right now you can see the claim's only doing 4. His defense is massive before you destroy any of them. Please. So I just need to get rid of the guys. Please. So now I'm doing 15, which is a little more, but I still really want to get rid of stuff. Right. And Chaos is very chaotic. His attacks do a lot of damage and combo easily. So there is a chance that I can go from full health to no health in a second in this state. So nothing's ever over until Chaos is dead. By the way, get ready in time. Time. Whew. So 42, 55, 54 probably is what I got on my timer. And that's really good for a marathon run of this. My PB is 42:14. Which, like I said, runs of this category generally aren't very optimal because there's so much RNG. But it is a really fun category that has a lot of cool stuff, and I think it's good for marathons. Lots of exciting moments and stuff. Alright, but that's it for me. Up next is going to be the Swordsman Kirby block. I think starting with Roger Rabbit and then Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which are both... I haven't seen Roger Rabbit, but it's probably good. And Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is another really good Metroidvania run, kind of similar-ish to this. So definitely stay around and check both of those out. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Thanks for watching, thanks for having me. Bye.
Okay, yeah, so we'll go ahead and get set up with Roger Rabbit here with Swordsman Kirby and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror shortly after. Stay tuned, everyone.